Welcome back to the show. It's me, Hugh, and Jen. Jen is our undead redhead for today.
Still.
And now we're going to talk about changing the world because we have Heather Skoll and Mariette Lee from We Can Change the World Day. And as we were talking, it's just funny because that's our slogan here at that channel is changing the world and having as much fun as possible, not necessarily in that order. So first of all, when I tell people that that's what we want to do, some people I think they get scared. They think, well, change the world. Who do you think you are that you can change the world? So let's talk a little. First of all, let's get to know you guys. Where did this idea come from to create a day called We Can Change the World Day?
It was born out of the idea of We Day. We Day is a huge event that happens downtown Toronto, across Canada, the US, and the UK through the organization, we.org. And we realized that our young people in York Region didn't have a day. They didn't have a We Day. They weren't necessarily coming to We Day in droves, and we wanted to create our own version of We Day, getting the power of being able to support others, help others, using your passion to create change, and being able to get involved and really engaged in volunteerism.
Yeah, okay. So what were you doing before this, Heather, and why did you take the leap, though, for this? It's a great idea, of course, right? But
the first time I heard about the organization was when I got remarried, and my husband, who is a teacher, had heard about them, and we decided all our wedding gifts would go towards a village in Kenya through Free the Children's Wee Villages. At the time, I was teaching yoga and doing a type of therapy work at my home, and the house started leaking and then started flooding, and I kind of knew that something had to change. I think that was a message from the universe to say, get out of the house. Your kids are grown up now. Do something more in the community. And it did push me out there to say, okay, what's next?
Okay. And, of course, we've got Mariette here as well, who's the youth wizard. Right, right, Mariette? So how did you get involved?
It's got to be the best title ever.
I quite like it. I think it's magic that we're creating. I got involved because I'm good friends with one of Heather's children. So when it came time for her, I think, was it the first We Can Change the World Day? Way back when, in September of 2013, I was kind of voluntold by Heather that I'd be helping. I was voluntold. I was like,
we need help. Help.
So at that time, my friend and myself, we were there on the day of, and we were helping with signing people up for volunteers. And at that time, I was in university, so I came back to town just for that. And I was really, really blown away by what Heather had created and the amount of energy and how that really the entire community in our town had come together. That when I graduated and Heather said that they needed someone to help coordinate the second We Can Change the World Day, I kind of leapt at the opportunity.
Wow, that's cool. Is that in line with what you were taking at university?
Yes and no. At university, I was studying to be, I guess, I don't know if being is the right word. I had a wide, diverse range of interests and jobs, and I came out with an arts degree, and now I'm doing my master's in something completely different, hoping to work with youth. And now that we're at We Can Change the World Day 3, that's the most exciting part, is that how many youth volunteers we've got on board.
Well, I would think that there's always new youth being created all the time. And
It is a true renewable resource.
Yes.
And there's lots of change that still needs to happen, right, in the world. So maybe this could be a full-time career.
It's always great to kind of to look at youth, though, because I don't feel like I've ever become a cynical person. Like, in certain aspects, I feel like I've developed a sense of reality about how hard things are to change, but I don't feel like I've ever lost the desire to want things to change. But I know that can be kind of a depreciating commodity as people get older. Sometimes they don't want to change things anymore. Sometimes they think that there's things closer to their own self-interest that are important. But kids and youth, and even into people into their 20s, they have do you find that there's more of a sense of optimism, or that there's more of a sense that there's a reason to want to change things?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that we've noticed is that if you give youth an opportunity and you say, here's a way to do it. So all the
Yeah.
resources, all the mentoring, that they can get involved. There's a story of one of our youth who got involved about a year and a half ago. He was quite shy and quiet, was very interested in the whole movement of change in the We organization. We asked him to speak on stage about his travels to Kenya, and he turned all red, and he said, no. We coached him, though. And with the coaching, he stood up there, answered some questions in an interview form. He's become our most active co-chair. He has gone on to apply for different grants, do all kinds of new things in the community. And that type of change, that kind of impact of just getting involved in a place where you can get that support is enormous. So we have local change going on as well as the global change, of course, of building schools overseas.
That's brilliant. And is it mostly focused on education then?
It is and it isn't. So I guess if it's okay, we can talk a little bit about the Adopt a Village model. So the organization that we fundraise for is, as Heather said, we.org. They're formerly known as Free the Children, so they've got about a 20-year track record in Canada. And what's really amazing was that its founder, Craig Kielberger, started right in York Region, so like the town over in Thornhill. And based on his story and kind of his passion for creativity and passion that young people, anybody who's young at heart, you don't necessarily have to be young, can do anything, has kind of been a huge driving force for us. So a big part of how they work the Adopt a Village model is that it starts with education, as well as clean water projects in underdeveloped countries. And then from there, the money goes towards developing healthcare, agriculture, and alternative income projects. So when
Is that things like microfinance or?
Yes, microfinance, or their term is called merry-go-round groups, so where they empower primarily women and young girls to use their cultural skills, such as beading out in Kenya with the Kenyan mamas to create
have
artisanal products, such as the rafikis, and they sell it all over the world. So when Heather was talking about how one of our most avid volunteers traveled, she was talking about how one of the villages that we adopted through them was in Kenya called Ulleran. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. We had also gone to Ulleran as well to see the progress there. So the funds that we raise, basically every 10,000 that we raise will help build a school classroom. And it was incredible to see the actual physical buildings, meet one of the teachers, see some of the kids, and be physically there actually to see the connection and join in with them, and the energy and their appreciation, and really hearing about their stories and really how hard things are, and knowing that the little that we do is huge.
Now, what other projects are you thinking about getting involved with? Because the world's a big place, and there's a lot of issues that need to be addressed, at least in my mind. I don't know if you have a list of issues that you'd like to tackle, but...
Currently, we are raising funds for a village in India, which I've also been able to visit and see how things are going there. They're much newer into the projects, also similar model of education and healthcare and so on. We have learned, though, by being out there about so many other issues. We can't tackle them all, but what we can do is certainly start to give young people the tools to be able to follow their passion and start to do something that they're really passionate about, and to be able to impact change where they feel is most important to them.
Yeah, it's not just about getting your 40 volunteer hours when you're in high school. It's not about just raising money and never knowing where it's going to. A lot of our volunteering activities, we coach our youth volunteers into taking charge, into learning how to do things. So, for example, for our upcoming events, it's entirely led by a group of 17-year-olds. They're going on to 18 now, and they're doing such amazing work. So it's our efforts is really about helping them be engaged, to be socially minded citizens, and learn about the different issues that are affecting different populations, not just in our own backyard, but also for our global neighbors overseas.
So does that mean that these 17-year-olds are actually coming up with a concept and following it through to completion for an event, or for?
Yes. actually. So
Incredible.
Yes, our upcoming event actually is called We Can Change the World Day 3. We're very original with our names, very much so. And it's going to be happening at in Richmond Hill at the Richmond Hill Centre for the Performing Arts.
Where is that, by the way?
It's
Richmond Hill?
actually Yonge and Major Mac. It's right on Yonge Street in Old Richmond Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, north of Major Mac.
Yeah, north of Major Mac. And actually, Heather can tell you a little bit more about that event. It's her baby. Yeah.
Well, this event is going to be amazing. We have a combination of musical performers, speakers, some who are international speakers, who are youth, who talk about either different issues or different experiences. We have dancers, so we're bringing in a group of Indian dancers to connect with that, raising the funds for that village in India. Craig Hilberger is penciled to come in to our event. We will announce when he is actually confirmed to come. And we have a few other potential surprises popping up at the event. Our MCs are from York Region, are Mike Adam and Rosie Ferguson from 105.9 The Region. We're looking forward to that fun. They are so much fun.
That's cool. Okay, and then what else? So it's going to be one day.
Yes.
and
What
you've
is the
got
date for that?
Musical artists, performers, dancers,
Good
speakers.
question, Jen. What day is it?
Well, you mentioned September, but I think this must
No,
be sooner.
actually, this one's a little bit, it's going to be Sunday, February 12th, 2017. So doors open at 1 p.m. and the show starts at 2 p.m.
So just before Valentine's Day.
Just before Valentine's Day.
Yes. Good idea to take someone to Valentine's Day for the event. And what will happen on that day, we hope we start to inspire and motivate the next generation of potential world changers so that they basically, before they leave, they sign up and they become the next generation who we train, who start to develop the next event. We not only put on the big event, we put on small events along the way. That's where they really get the experience towards the big event at cafes, frozen yogurt places, and
Summer
so on.
music
Wherever we can
festivals.
pop up a little event that has both performers, local, and speakers as well.
Sorry, go ahead.
You go ahead.
Yeah. So no, it just amazes me. Because I honestly think that one of the reasons that people do become cynical as they get older is that they don't have the actual skill set to do anything. So you're actually empowering people by saying you can be big, you can be part of something that's bigger than you, which is the whole idea behind we. And then we're going to tell you how you can actually practically do that. And I think that as we get on to the big I going on in the States right now, which is like a man who's about to be the president of the United States who thinks of no one but himself and who claims to do everything by himself without the help of anyone else.
Yeah.
By the way, everyone has their own opinion about what's going on. I'm just saying, right?
Yep.
I mean,
I'm cautiously optimistic.
well,
That's because you're nuts.
You've just written off the future. I'm just trying to be somewhat positive.
I think just as adult allies, Heather and I have been extremely privileged to be working with such enthusiastic, open-hearted young people with open minds. And three of our biggest values that we always stress for We Can Change the World Day is social action, leadership, volunteerism. So it's not always the adults that are making the decision. Once we've trained our student leaders and the group, the 17-year-olds that I've been talking about, we've been working with them for the past 2 years. So we've really instilled in them, hopefully, a good sense of responsibility, a good sense of creativity, so that they're confident in doing what they're doing now and that they can guide younger people who were in their shoes 2 years ago to come in and succeed them when they're gone.
You know, I mean, I think, Heather, you made a good point earlier that I think a lot of people want to do something. And I think one of the reasons people get cynical about it is because they don't know what to do, right? They're so busy
Absolutely.
running around
And they
just
don't.
paying the bills or whatever that, you know, so to put some kind of a program in place where people can actually just follow the program and they know they're doing something, I think that's what we need. But
And it's not Scientology, so they're not being told that and
Nope.
then paying a whole lot of money and then not changing the world.
again, you with your anti-Scientology.
Are you pro Scientology?
Well, I'm not anti-Scientology. I know some Scientologists, and they're fine people. Know what I'm saying?
No.
I could segue back to some of the adults in our community who see that we're having so much fun and see the change in the kids. They say, well, like, what can we do? And a lot of them, again, do things, selling cosmetic products, or one of them are organizers. And they say, like, well, we don't know what to do. And we talk to them about things that they might want to get their own children involved in. That makes a synergy with their own business. So the people who do organizing, they're called the clutter bugs. And so they did a garage sale, a community garage sale, which also helped some of their clients clear out their things because they knew the funds would be going to a good cause. And then their kids got involved, and they learned how to sell our signature lemonade at the event, and so on.
You guys got signature lemonade?
We do.
You do?
We do.
I like that.
Is it? What's special about it?
It's delicious. What more do you need?
That is
That's a good
exactly
point.
It makes an impact. That's what's really special about it.
So
Oh,
what
that's
else?
great.
What else do you do in
Okay.
terms of selling products? What other specific fundraising models do you have?
Yeah, I mean, a big one that we do every year, it's called the Pesimosis Summer Jam.
I know Pez.
Mark Pezzolato?
Yeah!
So he's also based in Richmond Hill. He's a local, I think he calls himself a creative contractor, if that makes sense. So he's the local guy that we go to for recording music, for videoing, for all of our technical needs. And he puts on this amazing community jam where
Yeah.
any musicians can come on, and there's a barbecue, there's a good time.
Is
there's
it on
dancing.
the lake there?
Right
Is
on
it on
the
Lake Wilcox?
Lake
Very
Wilcox.
close, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you gotta love York Region, boy.
Is that a York region? Is that a genuine York region accent? I like it. Boy, boy.
So we have a summer jam right out of his home studio there, and community, like, it's an all-day event. The whole community gathers, and whatever money we raise goes towards supporting our village out in India.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so the day's coming up, and we're going to give all those details again. And so it sounds like, though, that it's not just a day. It's stuff like, really, you're gearing up for constant,
It's year-round, really.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
And is there actually an event in September, or was that just me pulling that date out of the year?
No, that was way back in 2013 when we had our very first big event.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now is there one big flagship event, or is it just a whole bunch of events throughout the calendar?
The one that's coming up, We Can Change the World Day 3, is the third of the big
Of the
flagship events.
Cool.
We call it our big event. Very original.
Sounds like an exceedingly good name for it.
Yes, so it's great.
Sometimes it's good to make sure people understand things.
Right, yes.
That's really wonderful.
So what's the date again? Just so everybody knows.
February 12th.
February 12th, Sunday, so people can go there after church or after they get up. And it starts at, the doors open at 1, it starts at 2. How long does it go?
Till about
4:30.
4:30.
4:30, okay. All right.
Can they get the
That's-
lemonade there?
We will have our lemonade stand out. There's a debate on whether lemonade's going to sell in February.
Or hot
What do you
chocolate.
think? But there will
What
be
about
hot chocolate.
hot lemon toddies?
Ooh.
Right? You know what I mean?
If you come,
Only?
Only.
No.
I'm
Don't
thinking-
deprive everyone else.
No, I'm thinking just as an experiment. I would try heating up the lemonade and seeing how it tastes, because it could be delicious.
No, think about this. You know what neocitrin's like. Some
I
people-
drink neocitrin just for the taste.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and then I go to sleep, and, double bonus, I guess.
Anyway, it sounds like a really great thing, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in and telling us about it. And I'm just thinking maybe there's a way for us to kind of work with, changing the world all the time, since our missions are obviously there's a word for that. Synchronized.
Symbiotic?
Yeah, something like that.
But it sounds like you guys are already having about as much fun as you can handle, so that definitely is in line with that channel's policy as well.
Now, is there anything we missed? Anything we just need to mention before we wrap up here, guys?
we would just love people to come to our event, to get involved, and if you just start to think about what passion that really moves you, so that you can put your energy towards that and consider how you can make a difference, even if it's just one day.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, great. And what's the website, again, just for people to check it out and sign up and all that good stuff?
It is,
WeCanChangeTheWorld.ca.
Nice.
Again, straightforward, to the point.
I have a website that's got Change the World in it too.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about it afterwards.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to take, thank you guys.
Thanks so much
Thank
for
you.
having
All the
us.
best for the event. It sounds like fun. I think the hot lemon's a good idea. So we're going to take a little break here, just a tiny one. We've got Lena Pinizzato coming up next, and she's, apparently, there's a big problem with Airbnb and condos. And we're going to talk about that and more when we come right back.